Japan's so-called White Day is aptly marked with snowfall, creating an auspicious scene for our sumo wrestlers. However, the white stars denoting wins on the scorecard don't simply fall from the sky, and must be earned through endless strategizing. No better is this illustrated than by the columns of advice Asanoyama received in this morning's press, building on Chairman Hakaku's insistence that he lean forward more to secure a left-hand frontal grip. Asanoyama's coach, Takasago, told Nikkan Sports that while he's learning how to deal with thrusters, he hasn't yet developed a customized initial impact for each one. "He can't go in with the chest or shoulder every time," Takasago began. "He's got to be prepared to use the head, especially against heavyweights like Mitakeumi. Otherwise, he'll never straighten them up like he needs to. He's got to widen his technical range and find a winning formula for when he doesn't get the inside right." Simultaneously, Sumo's business manager Oguruma Oyakata was telling Sports Hochi, "When Hakuho, who favors the same inside right, made it to Ozeki, all he was thinking about was how to achieve more options with a tight frontal left grip. To do that, you need the energy and power to overwhelm your foe at the tachi-ai." Sumo elders crave to see him on the Ozeki rank. Sports editors love his picture on their pages. Asanoyama is thus under increasing pressure to perform as he takes up the mantle once carried by today's opponent, Enho. The Oitekaze man had impressed on Thursday and Friday and beaten Asanoyama in every one of the past 3 tournaments. But it was a different Asanoyama we saw today, fired up by the Mitakeumi defeat and noisy aftermath. He bent slightly lower at the tachi-ai to deliver a mighty forearm smash, jabbed the right palm into the ribs, clamped and lifted Endo's deadly right away from his belt, and threw him down with another clamp from the right. Haunted by early straight defeats in January, Asanoyama admitted to feeling anxious going into today. He was also keen to highlight improvement upon yesterday, saying, "Whereas then I was trying to throw moving backwards, today I did it going forwards." Asked for the reasons as to his poor record against Enho, he said, "Well, I'm worse off in the head-to-head, but it's not that I can't deal with him. You can't do sumo at all with a mindset like that. Endo's got more years behind him, so I told myself to give everything I had against a better opponent. And I won. But that'll all be forgotten tomorrow morning. Win or lose, I won't let it impact upon the next day." In other words, his match against friendly rival Yutakayama, who turned pro alongside him exactly 4 years ago. Fun fact, they were the first 2 men to debut on the 100th rank of Division 4 based on university results following a sumo rule change. Asanoyama's 7th-day win ties him level with Aoiyama, who lost his unbeaten record to a Terutsuyoshi throw this afternoon. Terutsuyoshi was seen wincing and checking his right elbow afterwards. No updates on his condition, but clearly throwing a 193-kilo weight with the arm that extended was not what he dreamed of doing this morning. Another big man sent thudding against the clay was Tokushoryu, who followed his shock win against Kakuryu with a loss to Takakeisho. Very mindful of the inside left, which did for him in January, the Ozeki went in with the head, kept his hips and belt far behind, knocked him back with the right, and caught him with the trademark left parry. "I wanted to get the inside left on him, but it's not so easy," said Tokushoryu. "My tachi-ai wasn't bad. Even though I thought he might thrust me over, I couldn't respond accordingly." "If Kakuryu loses, he ought to think about retiring," was NHK pundit Kitanofuji's pre-match remark ahead of his bout with Enho. But there was no danger of that in the end. The Yokozuna boxed Enho's ears at the tachi-ai, knocked him off balance with short, sharp thrusts, and quickly pushed him down from behind. "I did that in order not to let him get inside," said Kakuryu post-match. "I told myself not to lower my guard." "A real difference in power on show there," was how NHK commentator Mr. Sato described it, backed up by Enho's personal assessment, "I don't yet have the power to take on the Yokozuna." Humble words from a man who relentlessly carries the fight to Hakuho in training each day. Speaking of Hakuho, he faced Mitakeumi in the Battle of the Unbeaten Fighters today and easily came out on top, slapping with the left, nailing on the frontal right, releasing it to knock Mitakeumi's left upwards while thrusting from the left himself, and nudging him over the rope. "I was bracing myself for this one, as he's not the type of opponent you'd expect in week 1, said Hakuho, praising the quality of the opposition. Commentator Mainomi let his frustrations with Mitakeumi spill over into an attack on the challenging pack as a whole, saying, "Unless they find a way to strategically attack Hakuho's tachi-ai, they'll never ever beat him. They need to look before they leap, let him come to them, that kind of thing." Nikkan Sports suggests that the renewed focus in Hakuho's eyes stems from a sense of duty to lead in testing times. After the scandals of 2010, 2011 and 2017, it was always he who collected the ensuing Emperor's Cup. The paper also speculates as to whether he will extend his career if the 2020 Olympics is postponed. Japan's Prime Minister has this evening insisted it will not be, and Hakuho urged sporting authorities to do all they can as the world is waiting. The Yokozuna was also deeply moved when watching student Enho take on his Yokozuna colleague Kakuryu, and encouraged the lightweight to train a bit more, get slightly stronger, and enter the top ranks. The momentum behind a Hakuho title charge is snowballing. Let's see if it continues to do so tomorrow.